Hey, Pat, welcome to Punk Rock HR.
Hi, excited to be here.
Well, I'm so pleased to have you here. Listen, it's been a long time coming. You are an esteemed figure in the world of human resources. But before we get started talking about you and your career and your new book, why don't you just briefly tell everybody who you are and what you're all about?
All right. My name is Pat Wadors. Who I am, I'm a mother of three, a grandmother to two amazing grandkids that are 2 years old and 6 months old. So that's been super fun. I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm a friend. I'm left-handed, introverted, dyslexic, creative human being.
Well, I mean, that's quite the description. So, you are also someone who is really well known in the world of human resources. So, like, what do you do for a living? What's your job?
All things talent. I've known, Lori, that I wanted to be in HR since I was 19 years old. So that was like an amazing compass for me. I figured out I was doing art and other things because school was hard. Being dyslexic made school hard. So I didn't know what path to choose. And when I went to a career center and did a series of tests, so I like this thing called HR, right? I like social work, teaching, HR. And my dad and my uncle, his twin brother, were both in human resources. I interviewed them. And in those conversations, what came out of it was that 80% of a company's operational expense is the cost of talent. And if you can unlock that and navigate it, develop talent, attract talent, motivate them, pay them appropriately, et cetera, you can win in the market. And I wanted to touch all those bells and whistles. And I wanted to sit in this chair, like not just do one discipline. I wanted to sit in this chair, but I wanted to respect the craft. And so what I've done in my career, if any of y'all are interested in looking at my profile, is I have literally gone through the craft and spent time in most of the disciplines, several years in compensation, in recruiting, in employee relations, in HR business partnering, in systems, like you name it, I have done it. And then after I got the craft mechanics, learned how to manage. Then I learned how to lead. And I've jumped in and out of HR a couple of times to learn the business. So I've done operations, I've done sales to bring it back into the craft, right?
Yeah.
Because we're here to serve the business and make amazing companies healthy. And that's what I do.
There's something that unites us all in the world of HR in that we want to fix work. We want to improve work. We believe in people. So, can you talk to me about that? Do you feel that way? Is that true for you?
I want to achieve business outcomes and create a healthy workplace for employees so employees can do their best work and feel good about it and walk home fulfilled, right? Like we have more impact on our employees' mental health as managers than our primary doctor. So if I can create a healthy company, great leadership behaviors, and a great employee experience journey map from attracting the right talent, giving them a promise that we're delivering, right? So the brochure matches the reality. I've been in, many companies or experienced other stories where that didn't quite match and that disconnect is hard. And so I think our role is to create high performing companies that are healthy, that employees feel like they are net better off by being there.
You've written an amazing new book. Can you tell us about it? What's it called and what's it all about?
It's called Unlocking Your Leadership Story, and it's helping you motivate yourself and teams. And I leverage fables and folktales.
So,
The
so wait, I want to interrupt you because many people in my audience know fables and folk tales through their children and their children's work. Why did you pick fables and folk tales as your medium to tell stories?
for the very point you just said, everyone knows them. It's a moral of the story. If you think about Goldilocks and the Three Bears, probably 2 decades ago, I started coaching others and myself to own my career. But I didn't know what my just right fit was, both on the company, the industry, the skills, where are my superpowers. And I learned that having a bad manager is just as important as a learning experience as a great one. I learned that I didn't like to live in spreadsheets all day long. I learned that I loved, employee relations and caring for an employee, but maybe not a certain aspect of it. And my just right fit was Goldie. And so when I teach others, I'm like, channel your inner Goldilocks or the three pigs, like you're going to have to set a long-term goal. If you really have a vision of what will take care of yourself and your family and your life and how you want to live your best life, sometimes you got to let go of immediate satisfaction and like invest for your future. Like these small steps matter. Like one of the oldest pig built this house of bricks and saved his brothers and created an amazing life and taught them how and became a mentor. So I've modified the fables and folktales a little bit to be the more modern moral of the story. But this is how I coach and teach because I'm neurodiverse and I think in pictures. And a good friend of mine illustrated the book for me. I believe everything has balance and it has a point in time. Think about org design, Marie. Let's use HR examples. If a muscle is broken in a function, the theory, the hypothesis that you centralize that function so you build the rigor, the discipline, the training around that function. You get the guiding principles, the mission, vision right. You get the team aligned better to the company. And then you can distribute that function better, embed it more in the business because they have that DNA in them. If you distribute that function too early, they become more directed by that business they are in versus what they were trained to do.
Sure.
Right. So there's a maturity curve in all of this. So I think some of the things that we keep repeating is just the natural tension of building, driving business. It's just
Mm.
normal life change. If you read
Yeah.
Reid Hoffman's book about blitz scaling, there's a natural evolution of when you focus on culture, and you should do it sooner and sooner, is his lessons learned. Um, but culture sometimes shift. Leadership needs to shift depending on the maturity curve and where you are on the stage of the company. Because leaders that take you to 100 million may not be the same leader and or culture that you need to take a 5 billion company to 10 billion company.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of company. And I think employees tend to hold on. If they're long legacy employees, they want to hold on to what they had, not where would they need to go to. And that's some of the tension that we feel on DEI. It's society, right? Like you've had swung the pendulum a lot, but the core essence that I believe in as a leader is that inclusion and belonging unlocks diverse points of view, and we create better outcomes with that debate.
Yeah.
It's a fact. And so if you stay to the fact, the objective of building great companies, then having a lot of debate, like measuring twice to cut once, just makes common sense. And I think we get lost into what is the quota or what is that? And then you fixate on a given data point and you miss the bigger picture of building an outstanding company or product or service for the world.
Yeah. I take all of those points and they're all very valid. I think one of the things that I struggle with,
Yeah.
just being a person, is the human cost of all of these organizational mistakes or course corrections or growing pains, that word you used. One organization's growing pain is another person's life altering event.